Some of the faces of this program honored prior to the game today. So cool to see. Ohio State with a win could clinch a share of the Big Ten regular season title along with the #1 seed in the Big Ten tournament. Maryland looking for a massive road win for their resume. And we are underway here in Columbus. Jacy Sheldon, one of those players honored on senior day prior to today's game, will get us started up here. Got a quick whistle as the confetti is still raining down. Megan, it's a party. We're celebrating a fun day of hoops.
Listen,
just got to clean up a little bit.
End of February, basketball season, it's a party.
You got to clean up after you have the party is the thing. So
this is
everyone's
impressive.
getting involved.
Look at how quickly everyone's moving out here.
Don't want any
still
slippages.
Falling.
It is still falling. That's the issue. It's like snowing inside right now.
It's falling from the ceiling. I don't think I've ever seen this happen before.
Not either, Megan. And it's the gradual falling for me.
Did you ever play the elephant game as a kid where you turned on the elephant trunk and all the little flippy confetti things went up in the air? You had to try to catch them? Listen, 8 seconds into this game, we already have our All-State Mayhem moment, which I feel like it's just setting the scene for what we're about to see on the floor when the confetti stops falling. I think that was the last one to fall.
Yes.
Shout out to the Ohio State managers who have been all over this. It's their senior day too, by the way. And this is a multifaceted job. Not only are you there for the team, you're catching confetti. It is a do-it-all type of job for the Buckeyes.
There were some leaps
oh, that
and
was a good grab. That was like an OBJ one-armed catch. Impressive.
And it gets us started back up now.
Anyways.
Let's see what happens next. Cotie McMahon been so excellent over her last 4 or 5 games.
Maryland's going to box and 1 with Rebeka Mikulášiková guarding Jacy Sheldon.
Celeste Taylor, who had 11 points in the first matchup against Maryland, gets the first bucket here. Ohio State won that game. Maryland, though, had to lead at halftime. It was a 4-point game in the final few minutes. That was in College Park. And the drive from the Aurora, Ohio native Cheyenne Sellers. Sellers with about 30 friends and family in the stands today.
Maryland mixing up their defense now just in his zone.
Taylor again. How about that?
Taylor has been shooting the ball with so much confidence as of late. Didn't shoot the ball well in the first half against Penn State. Then came out on fire. She's playing with so much confidence and rhythm right now.
You were at that Penn State win for Ohio State. It was a convincing one right from the start. As Rebeka McDaniel answers right back there. You've been really impressed with her game this year, as haven't we all?
Not just offensively.
McMahon, a key part of this special season. Her first triple try, hops off the iron, and now back come the Terps. Cashing in a triple. Able to answer back is Alexander. Gives Maryland the lead.
Terps showing this 3/4 court press. Coming back into their defense. Great spacing offensively for the Terps.
Thierry goes up strong. Megan, I know you like to think of her as maybe one of the most underrated players in the conference.
She's the definition of a glue player, but she's also so blue-collar. Nothing about her game is flashy. Her and Jacy Sheldon do a lot of this.
Nice steal and the finish. These Buckeyes force so many turnovers.
This is where Ohio State is so dangerous.
Nice wraparound feed from Masonis. Alexander, who had that 3 going out in the prior possession, gets called for an offensive foul here. See those combined 57 forced turnovers over the last 2 games against Penn State and Nebraska, both dominant double-digit wins as their last 4 games have been. McMahon swirling in the lane and finishing.
Speaking of dominant, Cotie McMahon, she gets going downhill. Not many can guard her.
Speaking of getting downhill, McDaniel tried to answer back in a hurry. Couldn't. Now the Buckeyes might have numbers here. McMahon again. Ran into Sellers. Sheldon on the move. Back-to-back 20-point games for her, and there's a blocking foul. There's Jacy Sheldon you see in the Big Ten ranks this year.
She is a favorite by a lot of WNBA scouts because of her IQ, her motor. Jacy Sheldon is the most in-shape person on the floor at all times. She never gets tired. She's like the Energizer Bunny. But she also makes great decisions with the ball in her hands and without the ball in her hands.
Defense always gets some minutes, too. Can do that. Fisher weaving, a freshman. Nice board from Jakia Brown-Turner. Back out to McDaniel. Good three from the corner, and it's a 2-point game.
I love the passion.
McMahon on the pull-up. Now McDaniel trying to answer the other way. What a shot there for Bree McDaniel.
It's a high-level shot because her momentum's going backwards, but she's still finishing towards the rim. Intense high-level shot for McDaniel.
Catch and shoot three for Sheldon, rains down.
In rhythm.
A 4-point game. Sellers, Ohio native. Both teams trying to find this first bucket out of the last break. A nice pump fake from Taylor, then dropped it down low. One pass too many there, Megan?
Listen, just trying to save and extend plays.
Yeah.
Maryland is using their size well, especially down low.
Another good defensive possession here for Maryland. Taylor, just a tough shot. Sometimes you need that from a veteran player. Celeste Taylor spoke recently to the talent that this Ohio State team sees in practice alone each day and just what they train up against to get ready for big games like this. Nice shot from Fisher there. The freshman flipped the spectrum of experience over, and she gets the bucket. Fisher went down in the paint. They went cross-court to Harris, and she gets a shooter's roll.
The best way to bust a zone is spreading the floor, getting the gaps, and hitting threes.
And on this end, Megan, she takes a charge.
And extending that arm just slightly against Harris, who sold it right in front of the official. That's where the charge gets called.
And it's a big second foul on Cheyenne Sellers.
This Maryland defense is totally clogging up the paint.
What an effort there for McMahon to track it down, but Alexander able to corral it. McMahon trying to get back into the play. Had to go through two rows to do that. Maryland trying to strike while she's not there. Couldn't. And then there's a foul called.
Cotie McMahon just went like 4 rows into the stands here trying to make the hustle play. It's always painful when you don't land on the court. Well, if you land on the court, that hurts too. But just the hustle you see from Cotie McMahon.
Nice job from Kubik to get her own offensive rebound there. Kevin McDuff very frustrated with that sequence. Shot clock off here for Maryland. Would be big if they could get a bucket going into the second quarter. McDaniel ran into traffic. Never really got a clean look up. Still 4 seconds for Taylor to get up the floor. She has had an excellent first quarter. That shot at the end of it will not go, but it's an 8-point lead.
Trying to ram it at the rim. Okay? Take that away from them. They got everybody rebound and then go in transition.
Transition defense, always a key for Kevin McGuff, and he's right, Maryland trying really hard to get into high percentage areas. Ohio State has to make sure they're sending someone back at all times.
Second time that Alexander's hit a three from that same spot. It was a big one to start this second quarter, pulls her team back within 5. Jacy Sheldon getting a breather. Madison Green at that point guard spot, 0 White. Kicks to the corner. Harris, second time she's hit from that spot.
Ohio State's moving the ball well in the zone. They're moving it quickly, and they're spreading the floor well.
The lead propels right back up to 8. And then the steal. Celeste Taylor, one of the best defenders in the country, turns a steal into 2 with a 10-point lead. A grad student and transfer from Duke. Off to an excellent start. Same side, same result there for Alexander. Nice cut there from Taylor Thierry, and she draws a foul. Subscribe and stream for as low as $9.95 a month at Big10Plus.com.
Already halfway through this first half, Maryland has shown multiple defenses trying to junk it up a little. They need to get to the basket, which is what they were doing earlier, trying to get into the rim, high percentage areas, but get to the foul line as well. They have not spent much time at the stripe. That's
been more of the bread and butter. You haven't really thought of them as a three-point shooting team this season overall. Jacy Sheldon, speaking of getting to the bucket, was giving up a few inches of height. Nice spin move, but Mikulášiková did well to get back. After coming out on the hedge there, McMahon getting set to check back in along with Taylor.
How about the Big Ten tournament is sold out this year in Minneapolis? How awesome is that? Every session.
The Buckeyes, if they get a win today, and Celeste Taylor is trying to push them to get that. Just 4 on the shot clock here. A late foul called. Head coach Kevin McCuff there, a group that has so much experience, celebrating senior day today. They've got a 13-point lead at home. Taylor thought about it, opted to pull up. Off the mark there, but even that another example of taking what she felt was the best look. Sellers, Megan, you were waiting for when she might come back in. Here she is with 2 fouls. Alexander with the ball right now has been so much of the Maryland offense so far with her 3 triples. Sellers with 6 seconds. That's one of her spots that she likes. See who this went off of. It is going to stick with Maryland.
A lot of different pieces Brenda Frese put together in this season. And now as you hit February, they've finally started to come together and get comfortable.
And right out of the timeout there, it is going to be an and-one opportunity for Maryland. They needed that. Successful ATO.
Gotta love a good ATO. Especially with that Lavender Briggs, so they have to stay out of foul trouble as much as possible.
And they almost have to leave Jacia Brown-Turner in right now, as you mentioned, which they do. Here she is, needing to stay aware, playing with 2 fouls. Alexander, that's her spot. Came up short. Rebound, though, right into the hands of Masonis.
Faith Masonis does a little bit of everything.
Man with the step through. She gets fouled.
Offensive rebounds.
Right now it is 5-1, Maryland in that category. Offensive boards, and it's earned them their last few points.
Well, you see Faith Masonis stepping up in a big way right there on the previous possession. But as a team, when you're struggling to score in the half court, creating second chance opportunities is huge, as is trying to get to the foul line. Maryland only has shot 3 free throws in this game so far compared to Ohio State 6.
Maryland has 3 starters with 2 fouls. Jacia Brown-Turner, one of them. They go down low again. Masonis couldn't finish. Kubek couldn't corral it. Sheldon with it. 3-on-2 for the Buckeyes. Flips it over to McMahon.
Wow, what a play.
She stayed straight up there. Wow.
Bree McDaniel, that was excellent timing.
Now she's trailing the play. 1-3. McDaniel! How about that sequence for her? Mikulášiková. Nice movement down low. They were shoot around today as well. Oh, nice pump fake. And one opportunity here.
Has gone on a little bit of a run by herself here.
She can do that, has throughout the course of this season. Pulls her team within 7. Both coaches up. 2 of the best in the business, Brenda Frese and Kevin McCuff, colliding today for a second time this season. Ohio State won the first matchup. Jacy Sheldon rains down a 3 to answer right back.
That's why Jacy Sheldon is the player she is, that competitive nature, because down here she just got a foul called on her.
Ohio State has that defensively and offensively. So here's Alexander and McDaniel, the duo that is combined for 21 points today.
For what she's been able to do, especially this year, not only scoring, but also she went to Brenda Frese and said, Coach, I know we have a point guard shortage. Let me step in and try to take on some point guard duties, especially when Cheyenne Sellers gets into some foul trouble.
McMahon, so tough to stop down there.
She's unguardable.
Talked about it before the game. Brenda Frese teams just trend in February. They've won their last 4. Up against it right now, but a chance to close the half on a high note. Stolen though. McMahon, still 3 seconds. Plenty of time for her. And a foul to lead before she put up that shot. With 1.6 to go. And Ohio State will be in the bonus nonetheless.
Yes, offensively she's got an incredible motor, but she's really picked things up on the defensive end.
We said it before the game, there's no more dangerous player in transition than her in a situation like that. You almost have to foul her.
Or just get out of the way.
Yeah, you could do. That's probably the smarter choice.
Yeah.
Second free throw drops. Time for a half-court heave. 13-point lead for the number 2 team in the nation. Racking up the steals. They had 7 in that first half. They'll get the first offensive possession. Scoring's been so well distributed. 6 different Buckeyes have scored.
And that looks like a triangle and 2 almost on Celeste Taylor and Jacy Sheldon.
You mentioned they would mix up the looks today. Celeste Taylor had 13 points in the opening half for Ohio State. McDaniel with Sellers playing most of that first half with 2 fouls. A lot of weight on McDaniel's shoulder and Alexander's shoulders. Sellers back out there now. Matchup between 2 teams that have experienced a lot of February and March success in recent years. Taylor picks up where she left off, 15 points today.
What makes Ohio State so dangerous is the depth. Celeste Taylor having a big game from a scoring perspective. Jacy Sheldon's done that. Cotie McMahon's done that this year. So many different players have stepped up, and Maryland needs to continue breaking the press quickly by getting the ball up the floor at a fast pace.
A really cool atmosphere here in Columbus. McMahon. And now she taps it away, but right into the hands of McDaniel. Came up short. Alexander will reload and knock down her 4th. 4 straight wins for Maryland entering today. Their best stretch in Big Ten play. Trying to piece together a run of their own. Brown-Turner has been on an excellent individual run of her own, and she'll earn free throws here.
Well, if Maryland can continue getting to the basket, it can lead to more opportunities like this for Brene Alexander when she's moving down into the eye-line side of her teammates. She's constantly hunting.
Brown-Turner and Brene Alexander have been such key parts of this 4-game winning streak for Maryland. Brenda Freese told us earlier today, Jacy Brown-Turner has kind of made it her team. McMahon so improved as a 3-point shooter, couldn't hit that. Now back comes Sellers, snap feed up ahead to Brown-Turner.
That was a great pass by Sellers, perfectly leading Brown-Turner to the basket. She didn't even have to break stride on that.
7-0 Maryland run. They're right back in it. 8-point game as a Buckeye. Jacy Sheldon with the ball right now. Mentioned one of her favorite moments beating UConn in the tournament last year. As a part of that run to the Elite 8. Hoping to replicate that and more this year. McDaniel a steal. Nice read, pump fake, and free throws. We have some players in this game who just read passes and lanes so well.
There are players that are really talented and just have a knack for scoring, and then there are players that think at a high level, waiting and putting the opponent in a compromising situation.
Almost like she knows your next move on that chessboard. It's a 9-0 run for Brenda Freese's group, and they're within 6, just a couple of possessions separating these 2 teams.
Maryland's been able to force some turnovers the last couple of possessions.
Mikulášikova's first 3 of the game comes at a big time.
Rebeka Mikulášikova has practically scored 1,000 points on threes alone.
Does Maryland have another answer? It's a steal for Ohio State. Their 10th of the game. Thierry trying to capitalize on it and does.
There wasn't much Cheyenne Sellers could have done in a little bit of foul trouble.
Now how does Maryland react? They try to get up the floor in a hurry and draw a foul. And then Cotie McMahon gets teed up. Officials didn't like that sprint after the foul.
Back-to-back times, trips down the floor where she's gotten called for a foul. She bodies up and she gets the foul called. Yeah, she's staying straight up and down, but bringing that arm down is where the foul is going to get called. She didn't stay completely vertical. And then she has some words running by the official. So it's a personal foul. And then it's a technical foul for unsportsmanlike behavior.
So all of a sudden, you think about that. Adding on the fouls, technical and personal, then she's at 4.
Yeah, she's got to be careful, and Coach McGuff's going to have to take her out.
That was a big sequence in the game. Ohio State has so much depth, but to pick up 2 fouls in one sequence, plus free throws for Maryland. Sellers has her team back within single digits. Potentially a juncture in the game to remember.
Cotie McMahon's going to go to the bench. 4 fouls. It's a big swing of momentum, too, for Maryland. Players, defenders, all of the above on the bench.
So see how that changes things. Maryland trying to rally up the points on this possession. Celeste Taylor rips that away. And McDaniel going to be called for the foul. Ohio State in search of what would at least be a share of their 16th regular season Big Ten title. Jacy Sheldon followed her own miss. You could see her getting her own board right from the start. Going to be a fun time. These two teams will play a key role in it. Jacy Brown-Turner, blocked by Sheldon, nearly saved it from going out of bounds.
The Big Ten tournament is sold out for many reasons, Caitlin Clark being one of them. Another reason is because you can see plays like this happen. Jacy Sheldon timing that perfectly on Jacy Brown-Turner, who's got a couple inches on Sheldon, but she waited for the ball to come.
Kevin McGuff there, his group went to the Elite Eight last year. So did Brenda Freese's team. 2 fixtures around this time of year.
Maryland needs Jacy Brown-Turner to get a touch every possession. She has that length and athleticism to get to the rim. They need her to get the ball.
Foul called to the opposite end on the drive. Think of the names they're honored today before the game. Sheldon, at least a share of the regular season title in the Big Ten today for Jacy Sheldon and this crew.
Emmy, everybody in the gym knows Emmy. She's the mayor of the shot.
Her parents here as well. 2 to go in the third.
Maryland cannot get into a situation where they've been trading buckets with Ohio State. They need to stop, and they got to stop fouling.
Thierry can check out.
It puts you in some compromising situations at times when you don't have the bodies. But Ohio State is playing some of their best basketball right now, and players are able to stay a little fresher because they have so many different options off the bench.
You called that Michigan State game in East Lansing. Felt like everyone was in foul trouble. Still come out on top as the bucket goes there for Brown-Turner. Again, staying within striking distance, but you said you need stops on this end, and you can't foul. Taylor loves to drive on that side. A 3 can make it a 6-point game if they were able to knock one down. But the forte has been in the lane and mid-range shots over the course of this 4-game winning streak. They go back to that bread and butter and get 2.
Great move. Cheyenne Sellers plays point guard. She plays post. She plays literally anything on the floor that Brenda Freese needs her to play.
And it's a Maryland team that doesn't have any bad losses. No quad 3 or 4 losses. And most of their losses have come on the road as they build their NCAA tournament resume.
They're in single digits at the second-best team in the country's home floor. This is an NCAA tournament team.
Tight game here in Columbus. Chance to make it even tighter for Maryland. Time here to work with. Jacy Brown-Turner caught up to that somehow and was able to make it a 5-point game going into the 4th quarter. What a finish and a flurry for Maryland to wind down quarter 3.
Being aggressive and simple also means being balanced and disciplined. Ohio State's gotten a little out of whack, some of the fouls, some of the turnovers. They have to go back to the fundamentals, like Coach McGuff says, and just focus on taking the best shot possible.
13-game winning streak in Big Ten play. Ohio State won that one in College Park. Thierry watched by Jacy Brown-Turner. Opts to go back out.
Now you see Maryland in their man-to-man defense. They switch 1 through 5.
Brenda Freese told us we might see some of that today. Taylor Thierry's able to beat it off the glass. McMahon remains on the bench with 4 fouls. Remember that point in the game picked up the personal and the technical, so she remains out to begin this fourth. Maryland couldn't finish on their first look of the fourth. It was a run to make it a 5-point game going into the fourth that the Terps closed out the third on. Sheldon follows her own miss all the way to the baseline. Megan, you said it. You got to box out the shooter. They didn't there, and it led to that.
You start to make those mental mistakes. Terps have to box out.
Mikulášiková spins and connects.
That was fancy from Rebeka Mikulášiková.
What a flare. This crowd getting back into it. Sellers trying to quiet them. Couldn't.
Sellers has that height advantage on Ricky Harris, so Bree McDaniel and Sellers were trying to get into a high-low situation, but no dice on the finish from Sellers.
That's a tall Maryland group. Taylor draws a foul. This should be free throws. Taylor at the line and knocks down the free throw. Last season, Megan, I don't want to say people lost faith in an Ohio State group that had a slew of injuries.
Fell off a little bit and then re-peaked again. So they had a little mountain range going, if you will. That doesn't really happen in basketball. You want to just have that one mountain range that you started in February headed into March. And right now, Maryland needs more of that from Faith Massonis.
That is the first Maryland bucket of the quarter, as you noted. Sheldon navigating into the paint. Went down. Sellers knows it. Looking for numbers the other way. Alexander, that's her spot. Fifth three of the game for Alexander, and it's back to a 6-point game.
And she's ready to knock him down. Half the time, with being a shooter, you just got to be ready at all times.
Mikulášiková into the lane and draws a foul.
Rarely has Ohio State been able to consistently get out and run the way they want to. This is a Buckeyes team that averages nearly 81 points a game.
2 for 2. Rebeka curls across the lane. Nice rebound from Celeste Taylor. Buckeyes number 2 in the country for a second straight week. Cotie McMahon getting set to check back in with the 4 fouls. Thierry, oh, what a drive there from Taylor Thierry.
Maryland switches defensively in that man-to-man. Taylor Thierry goes all the way to the basket.
Timeout Maryland now.
They can also win by grinding it out in the half court. And when you win in different ways, it helps you so much when you get to the NCAA tournament because you're going to see different styles than you've seen all year long. So if you can find different ways to win in a variety, it's going to be huge.
Get a travel ball here. They love moving the ball around too. They just genuinely enjoy seeing their teammates score. It's touched all 5 hands on this possession. Couldn't turn into 2. McDaniel taking her way in, and McMahon had to be very careful there.
McMahon didn't have a choice, and Bree McDaniel knew that, so she went right down and kind of made it easy on herself.
8-point game. Maryland pulled as close as within 5 entering this quarter. McMahon had time to set her feet and drain the 3. They love playing in front of these home fans. 13-1 on this court this year. Blocked by Mikulášiková. Jacy Sheldon, their consummate leader, strikes again.
Because Sheldon can get to the basket with such ease, as a defender, you have to give her a step. But you give her a step, and that's enough time and space for her to get her shot off. You really have to pick your poison when defending Sheldon.
Jacy spoke recently about how Ohio State had 8 days off going into their last win against Penn State. Really helped this group reset. They were anxious to get back out on the floor, though, in the last couple of games. McDaniel able to keep Maryland in this 3:50 to go, but Terps need some stops, and they need them now.
They need to also keep Ohio State to one and done. They cannot allow any more second chance opportunities, which is how Ohio State was able to make this lead even bigger.
We've seen Jacy Sheldon follow a number of her own rebounds today. Mikulášiková starting to cook in the paint.
Rebeka Mikulášiková.
Perhaps the last gasp here over the next couple of possessions for Maryland if they can string together some buckets. Ohio State on the other side, 3:15 away from a share of the Big Ten regular season title. Masonis, the rebound, goes up strong, and a foul call. Well, not the last of our women's games today. Women's hoops on the Big Ten Network continues. Onion and Shimmy Gray-Miller are good players. Taylor, Thierry, and the Buckeyes looking to make it a season sweep over Maryland. Sheldon smiling while she crosses over, then hands to McMahon for two. I know you're super pumped for the Big Ten tournament. I'm excited to watch you there. But, I mean, that just makes it even more exciting knowing anyone can win a deep league this year. Ohio State's at the top of it right now.
And depth in this league. This is a really good Maryland team.
You mentioned that win over Syracuse. It looks better and better by the day. They're 22-5 now on the season.
And they are truly one of the best 4 teams nationally.
Number 2 in the country, matching the highest ranking in program history that they had after that 19-0 start last year. We know the Buckeyes still have a showdown with Iowa on the horizon on March 3rd. We'll have Michigan next. Maryland will play Wisconsin on Thursday. We'll have that for you on Big Ten Network. But for now, the Buckeyes can celebrate a share of the Big Ten regular season title, and they'll lock up the number 1 seed in the Big Ten tournament.